Hi guys, my name is Sean. I'm a houseplant enthusiast from Jakarta, Indonesia. I'm at Ragunan and it's actually very busy right now. Look at this basket of orchid that's going somewhere for the contest right behind me. So there's an event happening here and I'm just here to document. There's a lot of booths happening. There's some contests for plants happening over the next 3 days. But I chose this very short window period where I can vlog because after this, it's gonna be all hell break loose. This place is probably going to be swarmed by people and it's gonna be a lot of MC doing talking, which means their voice will probably overshadow my voice. So I've only got about an hour to vlog. I'm gonna quickly go through each booth here to show you what they are growing, what they're selling, and this is from Ruang Tanam Jakarta.
Hey,
Hi.
apa kabar bro?
Baik. So he's actually one of the plant stores that is still doing really well. I know there's a lot of plant stores struggling at this time. Okay, there's some really cute booths behind me. I'm going to give you guys a close-up, but let me finish this intro now. There's a lot happening. There's Friday prayers happening, and there's this thing behind me happening. But I'm back here. This is Ragunan, where I actually started vlogging from. There are a lot of nurseries to my left and right. If you're ever in Jakarta area, I do recommend to come here to soak in, the whole plant experience. For the most part, people here still deal with rare areas, but there are also a lot of landscaping plants, succulents, orchids, and primarily orchids. This Ragunan is most well known for its orchids, and it's really nice to see plants moving in and out of the space. I saw a lot of carts passing by, and I think people are starting to buy plants again. They're becoming a lot more accessible, they're becoming more affordable. So yeah, without further ado, I'm just gonna get started with the tour. There's so much to see. We are at the first booth. This is the Tara Nursery. They have a beautiful pot of anthurium. I think this is a clarinervium or tarantula clarinervium. And look at the pot. It looks so beautiful with this really cool, I don't know what you call this. This is, I want to say Oriental, but some people might find that offensive. But I'm Asian, so I guess I can kind of get away with it. So there are a lot of anthuriums back there. This is probably crystallinums. And we're going to have a bit of a background noise for the next few minutes or so. Here we have lavi plants. They're from Bandung. This is about 2 hours away. From here, look at the computer is precariously perched on the stool, but there's a lot of variegated monstera here, and there's some mint monsteras back there, and yeah, a lot of them are coming in stock. Variegated monstera. If you're ever in the market for them, now's a good time to find it. And unfortunately, they don't export yet, so do not reach out to them. But yeah, this is their business information. If you live here in Indonesia, you can contact them. Or sometimes with an exporter, you can also have your exporter contact nurseries. You may even get a better deal out of it. So here's some Epipremnum marble, some ring of fire, baby ring of fire, a lot of ZZ ravens. Like they're how cute. I have a lot of these at home, but I always appreciate it whenever I'm out and I see them. I really love them. This is, I can't remember what this is. This is the Philodendron luxurians from
dari Aqua Genera.
Yeah. So this is from the Aqua Genera, and I'm actually still rehabbing mine. I got one as well, and it's not looking so good. But I think I'm seeing something peeking out of the node. So let's see about that. But that's a really, really beautiful close-up of it. Look at how velvety and beautiful the leaves are. These are the variegated Monstera adansonii albos. A lot of Syngonium. This is the strawberry ice. Used to be very expensive. But yeah, the theme is that a lot of things have now become very affordable and accessible. If you're new to the plant market, now's a really, really good time. Look at all these Warocqueonums hanging out here. There is a lot of Paraiso Verde here. Look at how beautiful the variegations are on these. And they really need a moth pole so bad. Look at that, the notes. And a lot of booths are still setting up. They're supposed to be done setting up by this time, but I guess people are a bit behind. So yeah, look at this beautiful aldo. Nice. Yeah, it's like leaning towards something, trying to find a moss pole. There's a nice Veracruzum over there with that one leaf that's opening up. Look at the electrifying green on these. You know what I just noticed? This thing actually rotates. So there's a cable here attached to a power source, and it rotates the table. This is so smart. Like, imagine a lot of plants actually do need light all around, like especially the rosette type growth patterns, like your aglaonemas or certain philodendrons or certain anthuriums. This is a good way to give them even light throughout. How fantastic. And here I believe there's some succulents. This is a aloe maculata. It says on the label. I'm really glad they labeled some of these species so we can learn about them. 550,000 for this, and pups coming up. So look at the color on these like dreamlike dots on the leaves. And this dickia, look at this crazy huge pot of dickia. Beautiful frosty finish on the leaves. And this is actually a massive pot of it. Let me show you from up top. There you go. There's some old man cactus here. I'm quite liking this booth, maybe because everybody else is selling aeroids, and these guys do stand out quite a bit more. These are some Sansevierias here. This is a beautiful one. Look at the finish on these. Some variegated one back there. So a lot of these are actually hybrids or mutations, so they all have really funky names. This is a Robusta dwarf. If you are a collector of Sansevierias, you would be more familiar with the names and the forms. Unfortunately, I'm not. But look at how beautiful this is. This is only 125,000, and if you know how slow they grow, you know that this is actually a very good price on them. And Sansevierias are a genus of plants that do camp photosynthesize. So they do photosynthesize at night, giving you oxygen. So this is pretty good plant for bedrooms, if you believe in that. Personally, I believe that you need maybe 50,000 of these in your room for them to make any difference. But they do purify the air, and they do give you oxygen at night. This is really pretty too. Euphorbia bauensis, 750,000. I wish I wasn't a succulent killer, but a lot of these desert plants, they look nice when you kind of style them around and you have like a desert area, and they also can survive in low humidities. So I was just informed that this is actually Eska Gardens booth. I did a tour, I'm gonna link that tour up above, about 2 years ago when I started the channel. But this is a Travesia japonica. They can grow into this tree, so they're actually quite beautiful. Look at how variegated this is. They almost grow like a weed because they're so fast growing. And they actually don't need a lot of root space. So if you need, you have a small tight spot where you don't have a huge pot, these guys can actually grow really big in a small pot. Syngonium, Macrophyllum, Frostophyllum. This is actually one of my favorite Syngoniums. Look at all these beautiful desert plants. There's some Caudex forums here. This is a Crassula tom-tom. So yeah, I really appreciate Icha or labeling everything here. She's actually quite good with different genus of plants. She's also one of the plant stores that are doing really well now, despite the dramatic fall in demand. This is really, really beautiful. Look at that. I have a feeling its main trunk was cut off and probably propagated, and now it's sprouted with vengeful energy. Look at all these sprouts. This is so beautiful to watch. I love it. It's really beautiful too. Look at this. And it's coming from that. This is really, really beautiful. Look at all this exciting new growth that are. And that gradation of color from the new leaf. This is so beautiful. It says this is a Phyllanthus mirabilis. I like how it's like laying there like a mermaid. But it's putting out all these beautiful leaves. They're still very expensive now. This is 1.9 million. And look at all these roots that are just growing. Aerial roots. This is Mammillaria elongata. Beautiful, guys. I'm in heaven. I don't know. I mean, maybe I should start picking up succulents too. Except my new home is even smaller than the house I'm living now. This is a. It says jade, but then this is probably a Crassula ovata. Oregano. They become really beautiful bonds. Look at this bed of Begonia maculata, and it is in they're so beautiful with the red backs. They fell out of favor for a while, but I started to see a lot of stock coming in, and they came in really big size. They used to sell them in smaller cuttings, smaller sizes. This is a beautiful, with an Esplenium. This is a variegated fern. This is variegated monstera, but this is getting too much direct sunlight, my goodness. I hope they don't burn over the... Beautiful Christmas or Thanksgiving cactus. Sitting on the floor, they should be hanging. They look much nicer hanging. Let's take a minute and enjoy these. They should be blooming in about 5 months time when it's Christmas or Thanksgiving, depending on what they are. Look at this beautiful full pot of alocasia here. Beautiful glossy leaves. This is actually some beautiful Lobesia turtlebacks. I'm not sure how well they do in shipping, but they are being grown quite widely in Europe and the US markets. Look at how beautiful that is. I think I killed mine, so I don't remember where I had it. I think all I have left is an empty pot, which I cleared at some point. This is the problem when you have too many plants, is that you forget where you place them. This is the Lea zippolianum. They're actually not that difficult for me, but I'm not sure again if they were in lower humidity, what would happen. This is the Lea amabilis. Really, really gorgeous leaves if you ask me. And it has beautiful, beautiful new foliage. It comes out small like this, like a little meow. And then they expand in size and harden. Little terrariums, succulents. I personally would not put succulents in terrariums like this, only because I have a feeling they actually need a lot of airflow, especially here where humidity can be really, really high. But that's just me. And again, I'm a succulent killer, so maybe I'm not qualified to comment on that. This is a beautiful Aglaonema Lotus Delight. This is 1.8 million Indonesian rupiah. I know some of you guys were looking for this. And I have a video on this, which I'm going to link up above, where I care for and propagated it. A quick update. So that plant, because I ended up with only one last branch of it, spoiler alert for those of you who haven't watched the video, but it's doing well. So it's continuously growing, and hopefully I'll get a big pot of it someday. Beautiful Syngoniums. This is the elbow, and there's the pink ones over here. Florida Beauty. Look at how the price is 950,000. This is really, really good price for the Florida Beauty. This is quite new in the market, the Thai Sunrise Marble. I believe this is a philodendron. This is 1.8 million Indonesian rupiah. This is again quite new, and I believe still quite rare. It's like my second or third time seeing this. But they do have a lot of Florida Beauty, and they labeled them by grade. So if you want something cheaper, the 850 sounds like it's a cheaper option than the first one. Here are more Lobesias. You have different patterning on these. This is beautiful, and then you have that. And look at that behind. This is actually very nice. I'm not going to touch the leaves, but it's very, very succulent. Like, I can already feel it without touching it. Look at how thick the leaves are. And this last one is nice too. Look at this. With a lot of this frosty white on it. And that new leaf that is still pretty limp. And we have some variegated plumerias. Very nice. This is actually my first time seeing it here, or maybe I have, but I've missed it before. But I saw this for the first time when I was in Bangkok about 2-3 months ago. Beautiful. Price is pretty good too, 550. Gorgeous, and they grow really, really fast. And this back here, it says Lobesia species. How beautiful is that? It looks like a little bush. And it's got like really nice rubbery leaves that is like burgundy, but it's also black. This is really, really beautiful. And something tells me this is not going to be very difficult to care for. Look at that. This is definitely on my wish list, you guys. $375. I'm actually moving homes right now, so I cannot take any more plants at this time. But to be honest, I'm also waiting for plant prices to kind of stabilize a little bit more, because I have a feeling they will come down just a little bit more before they reach to pre-pandemic levels. And there's a lot of Florida Beauties here. If you're in the market for something a little bit bigger, they're right here. And this is, I just noticed, this is Hamsia Flora's booth, and they're actually quite reputable for rare plants. So these are some yellow Syngoniums. So they do not actually export, but again, as I mentioned, if you're hunting for some local plants, look at how big these specimens are. Sometimes it might be nice to work with an exporter. to see if they can help you source. But again, the nursery name is Hamsia Flora. This is Monstera marmoratas. And I quite like seeing them in rows like this. It's so organized. And some elbow Monstera. This one has really, really nice variegation. And look at that new leaf that's coming in. And a lot of little baby Florida beauties back here. I'm seeing a lot of supply for these, so it's probably very easy to find these days and quite affordable to own. Where in the past, during the pandemic, my goodness, their prices were incredibly high. They were kind of inaccessible for most people. It is actually steaming hot right now, so a lot of the booths are actually not even open yet. They are already closed the tents because nobody's here except me. So this is another booth called Nanam Jadi Teman. It means plants into friends. That's the literal translation. This is really interesting. I don't know what this is. Beautiful. I think it's a Homalomino if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it looks like it might be. Look at that lines, the mean reptile-like lines and that camouflage pattern on these. This is really, really beautiful. And they're actually doing live sale here. Live sale is a common way to sell plants here in Indonesia. Earlier on, I was catching up with Icha from SK Garden and they sold literally everything in the booth before the event even started. So they were already packing the plants to go and they have to restock more plants in here. That's really, really crazy. That's amazing. It takes a lot of skills to do live sale. It's not that easy. So you have some assistant that is helping bring the plants over, and then you're showing what you have in stock. And people literally have a few split seconds of time to decide, because a lot of people are watching, so they decide to buy right on the spot. I'm at Titik Hijau's booth. I just had a collaboration with them on plant exports that went really, really well. So they are also a nursery. They propagate some plants, but primarily they do business to business, business to customer, and they also help people source plants. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions about plant exports from Indonesia. They're also an export service. So here are some of their interesting species here, and I really love their setup here. They look like hamster cages. How beautiful. And then there's information here. Sorry, there's like motorcycle literally next to me, so it can get loud. Some beautiful Piper pink here, and really nice that they've actually labeled everything. I really appreciate it when sellers do. Look at all these beautiful Pipers back there. How gorgeous is that? And here are the Scindapsus. We did cover the Scindapsus in the last episode that I filmed here in Titik Hijau. So I'm not gonna go really in detail for the Scindapsus. Some beautiful Syngoniums. And I believe this is the Epipremnum section. And a lot of these are still juvenile leaves because Epipremnums, sorry, this is Rhaphidophorus. Rhaphidophorus and Epipremnums, they do split really nice when they get to a mature size. But look at the variegation on these. Every leaf is beautifully variegated. This is amazing. It says here Scindapsus Superstar back there. Look at that, wow, it's beautiful. It's a Monstera mint here, and here we have a lot of Rhaphidophora tetrasperma variegated. And I did talk to Rico, and there's a lot of Rhaphidophora tetrasperma here. I know that Mr. Rico is one of those people who actually was an early adopter of this plant when it was very, very expensive. I believe it was about 250 million for like a leaf when it first came out 2 years ago, but now he's got a lot of them in stock. I'm sure the prices has gone down quite a bit since then. But let's quickly look at the variegation on this. Let's do a variegation check. That one is beautiful, look at that. Even though they're all juvenile leaves, but look at how beautiful the variegation is on that one. And some of them, of course, have like greener leaves and all that. So I guess the price is really determined by the quality of the variegation and the consistency. Like that's also a good candidate as well. Beautiful variegation throughout. And I'm seeing a lot of these Monstera Lechlariana. Don't know how to pronounce, but this is how you write it. Monstera Lechlariana. It's a tongue twister. But yeah, this is them, and I believe they have quite a lot of stock on these. This is really beautiful too, you guys. Philodendron Whippleway, this is on my wish list. Waiting for the prices to be a bit more affordable, but I don't think this is still like propagating away, so this one might be a little bit more affordable. But I'm waiting, I'm not in a hurry these days. This is beautiful. This is Scindapsus blue elbow variegated. Hoya, Flora Ayu Nusantara. And look at that, how beautiful. Everything's lined up really nicely. Someone's taking a picture of this. Yeah. This is variegated banana here. For those of you who are looking, Anthurium clarinervium. They actually look really nice when you line them up like this. Labicia, a lot of Scindapsus here. A lot of Cercestis mirabilis. Another variegated banana. Take a closer look. Look at all this pink detailing on the petiole and on the edge of the leaf. They do have it too. They do have this pink. That is beautiful. A lot of Philodendron biliatai. I believe there's Anthurium veitchii back there. A lot of Syngoniums. Strawberry shake. This is the, I want to say Anderson, probably. And Varroquaenum. Next up, we have Lily's Garden. This is a beautiful Hoya croniana or lacunosa. Orchidia. Look at this cute little pot here. Dari mana ya?
Dari Cibinong.
Cibinong di Jakarta.
Bogor.
Bogor ya.
Bogor.
Look at this right here. Very nice pot combination. There's an Anthurium here that's variegated. It's quite nice, the Sansevieria. They look nice from up above and also from the side. A lot of Aglaonema. These tricolors are actually on my wish list. They are 250,000. It's actually a pretty affordable price for these. A lot of pink princess, a lot of Aglaonemas over here. There's so much to choose from and they're so little and compact that they do get big. This is an Aglaonema frozen, it says here. Look at how beautiful the main stem is. I love looking at Aglaonemas. I could spend all day just looking at them. They're really, really beautiful. And here are some more of the Lotus Delight. This is a steal, 800,000 for this little baby here. And there's a slightly larger one behind it, which I'm sure costs a little bit more, probably. This is one of the prettiest Aglaonemas, in my opinion. This one, the local name is Kadaka Blut. I'm gonna see if I can find the English name for this. But it is a beautiful fern. Look at the new fronds. It is just unrolling. And I love the shape on these. Really gorgeous. This is Chiami's garden. I saw them setting up earlier and I knew I had to stop by. I just love this vibe here. It's very boho, it's a bit desert-like. Look at all these coconut wire baskets. And these Echeverias. That one's putting out a new vine. Beautiful succulents. So they have these really, really cute baskets here. I like the concept of this door. Look at that over there, the hanging area. There's mostly succulents here. But there's some Dischidias. I don't know what this is, but this is nice and it looks good hanging. Can you imagine this like spilling over and trailing down? I've killed every string of succulents in my care, but this is really, really something. These orchids. Wow, this beautiful mini orchid. So that's what the leaves look like. And it's nice in this basket. And provide a lot of airflow too for the roots, I'm guessing. I think they will prefer this than being in a plastic pot. This is beautiful. And this one's just about to open up. They look really like plastic orchids, but I'm sure this is real. Look at the new, it's gonna open up really, really soon. And there's a lot of them here too. So I think you can count on there being a lot of orchids in my channel coming up soon. After I finish renovating my house, I'll have a section for orchids, probably like a wall. Because you can care for them the same way when you throw them on a wall, like the same fertilizer, the same treatment. So this is the contest area. They're having a Syngonium area here today. On here we have the orchids. So they have different themes every day, but look at how beautiful this orchids here look. And Mr. Fari Orchid is going to be here today. I did have an episode with him. He's actually in Magelang, which is like, 15, 16 hours drive from here. It's a long ways from here. But look at how beautiful this is, and the leaves are nice too. So I don't really know what the judges are looking out for when it comes to orchid contest. I'm guessing they're looking for form, the health, and also how prolific the flowers are, and maybe even the rarity of the orchid. So this is a close-up of it. Really beautiful. Look at the leaves on these. Orchids are so diverse. I believe someone mentioned earlier that I think this is the hybrids, and behind there there's a species area. Look at that big pot of orchid over there. That's so amazing. This next booth is called Gang Melati. And this is a really big Sharonii. I'm gonna have to move the camera back a bit. And they do have a lot of beautiful, brightly colored caladiums here. And it is really rare to see in Indonesia. This one is really gorgeous. And they're actually sitting in water. Look at all these beautiful caladiums. They hybridize like crazy. If you grow them like in a nursery setting and they're always setting flowers, they will invariably pollinate each other and create all sorts of hybrids. This is why they're so wonderful, but it's also impossible to keep track of them. They all have different names, but again, it's really hard to memorize them all. And there are some Hoyas here and some over there. Hoyas are really underrepresented here in Indonesia. This is here Utei. I don't know what this means, but it looks like it's an Australis Lisa, and it's got really big leaves for a Lisa. Hoya castipeluculata. Beautiful. And this is the Tachyclada variegata. This one has really interesting leaf shapes. Oh my god, it's so noisy. I apologize for that, you guys. This is almost like a Dacia, which is like a rounder leaf, but I don't know what this is. This is Utei. Maybe Utei is the name of the person who is be consigning this. But this size is a DS70 variegated. This is an Australis Lisa that's coming up a trellis. And it's flowering. This is the Hoya polyneura. They're becoming a lot more affordable now, but it's because I paid a lot for mine and I killed it. I'm not gonna be picking up one of these anytime soon, but I think they have the similar care requirement as the linearis. They hate humidity, they hate the heat. So once I can get a good condition for them, I'll start picking them up again. This is beautiful too. Look at the form of this Australis Lisa. This is actually a really beautiful, almost becoming common Hoya to have. Look at this one. This is actually really beautiful. The color on this is so complex, and the rib or the skeleton is so pronounced. This is quite lovely. I really love this one. It stood out to me. And a new leaf is coming along the way. This is Vandana plant. They actually are known for having some encephalardos and some cycads. Really beautiful. This is, I believe, a Dion Idul. And there's some Cardex fawns over here. This is really beautiful. And look at the pot that they are paired with. This is not cheap by any means. This is a ficus and it's $5.50. How precious that is. Look at this one. This looks like an animal. This is so beautiful. Euphorbia obesa. And I have a feeling this is trying to vine. If you see the middle of the screen, it's trying to sprout. This is my new phone, by the way, so it's not really focusing that well. But it's trying to sprout something. This is a Euphorbia nuti. So we've got a few more booths left, but I was actually talking to Mr. Han earlier back there with his group, and they're gonna call over the Ministry of Agriculture. So we're gonna have an impromptu meeting about plant exports and the future of plant horticulture in Indonesia. So yeah, this is becoming an interesting day. It's a bit too serious for my liking because I was hoping for a more chill and more short period of time that I spend here because I'm building my house right now, so there's a lot of things going on. But enough ranting. I'm happy for the opportunity and the exposure to the market and to learn more and see what I can do, provide some insights. This is Indo-Aeroid. We did have a vlog a few weeks ago on some of their plants. It's a rare aroid nursery. There's some baby Lillanmianos hanging out here. Look at how beautiful the form is. And they can get huge. This is Dell's nursery and they have some Tillandsias here. Halo. Dari mana ya nursery-nya?
Dari Cimanggis Om.
Cimanggis tuh di
Depok.
Depok.
Cimanggis Depok ya, spesial air plant.
Nice. So I guess I'll be in touch. I'm actually going to be looking for some air plant vendors around here. So this is in Depok, which is the big city from where I live. There's a lot of nurseries around that city actually. Interesting. I have a feeling the nursery is going to be really beautiful. Oh my god, I stepped on something. hang on. Sorry. Not curly slim.
Curly slim. Cuma dia kali straight tuh. Hybrid.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess I will try to visit someday to have a more specialized episode because they do deserve their own episode, I think. I really love their form and how they're grown. And the diversity of them is amazing. Look at this. I'm going to show you guys a top view of this. Nice. So I did feel droplets of water and it's about to rain, so I gotta get out of here soon. This is a beautiful, I don't know, white princess. What is this? Anderson, the Philodendron Anderson. A lot of anthuriums over here. And this is Plant Our Friend, the name of the booth. Some variegated monstera. There's a lot of variegated plants over here. This one says it's the Pappy Golden. This is new. Ini anthurium ya?
Ya,
Tapi dia emas kayak gini.
golden.
That is so weird. It's an anthurium, but it's golden like this. Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot more anthuriums here. This is a Epipremnum Hanuman ya? Atau yeah, from Bali. And this booth belongs to Taman Tangkau. We have a lot of rare plants and a lot of syngoniums here. This is the strawberry eye. This is the bramble eggs. Beautiful variegated Alocasia frida. Let me see, this is probably a Jose Buono. Baby Florida Beauty. Philodendron Black Cardinal, variegated. This is what we saw at Pachandra's place a few videos ago, the Cyanastrum cordifolium, variegated. It's a variegation that was discovered here, and some cute little baby anthurium here. This is the pink, I think. And then there's the Aglonema. I think this is coming in hot. There's quite a few of them. This is the Aglonema Lotus Delight. Ini melano atau mikan ya?
Melano Brigata.
The Melanochrysum variegated. This is I think a white knight ya ini ya.
White marble.
White knight marble.
Yes.
This is a white knight marble. Look at the variegation on these. This is quite spectacular. The Modiphilum Goldii, variegated. That's a gloriosum and it's also variegated. Strawberry shake. Ini apa ya? Ini Tomatophyllum ya? William C. Tomatophyllum William C. variegated. And this can get huge, right? This is a baby. A lot of variegated elbow behind us. It looks so nice covering a wall like this. I guess they really like syngoniums here. There's a lot of syngoniums. This is the Panda Galaxy. And then there's the Batik here. There's so many of them. This is tricolor, yeah?
Yes, that's called tricolor.
Right, for tricolor. For those of you syngonium lovers out there, here's feast your eyes on these. Alright, so I am actually done vlogging and there's some MC action happening. It's starting to get noisy, so I'm leaving. I'm actually walking away and I'm still seeing way too many airites here for my liking. I think I don't mind airites, but the only problem is that everybody has similar stocks, so they're kind of competing with each other in a way that I don't believe is healthy. But I hope that I'll be able to see more diversification and also specialization of different genus and species. I know I keep saying this throughout my other videos, and I was actually just being pulled into a meeting with someone from the Ministry of Agriculture in Indonesia, and we're going to be talking about protecting, but at the same time growing and also marketing our local endemic species. We have a lot of really, really cool species here that will look really, really fabulous in the houseplant market around the world, but we do need to protect it because it is a very delicate market and there's a lot of opportunity for it to go wrong, basically. So I'm looking forward to that, and it's been a hectic day, super, super hot. I'm sweating balls here. So I'm gonna bid you farewell and thank you so much for watching this episode, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye.